Going on, everybody? The Boston Source is checking in, and yes, it is Tuesday, and we are back with the coach, Ronnie Shields.
The Boxing Source proudly presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.
That's right. We are here on October 21st, 2025, here on a Tuesday night, and it is the return of the great legendary coach himself, Coach Ronnie Shields, here back with us. Hey, Coach, man, how you been doing?
I've been doing good, man. How about yourself?
Oh man, just been okay. Been on the road and off and on, and going to Florida and then going to New York and all that type of stuff, and just trying to wind down here and everything like that. But as it is here with boxing, it's just been a fairly busy schedule here going into the back end of 2025. And as we know, the last time we caught up, we were talking about the schedule that you
I'm
had.
doing good, man.
Very busy schedule.
Something is wrong with my thing is on the delay.
Ah, word. Hold on. So you still able to hear me, Coach?
I can hear you, but I can hear what you were saying before.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Now we were talking about the schedule that you have coming up, and for November, it's a very busy schedule. With the number of your fighters, coming up. First off, we have Otto All In Wall In scheduled for November 7th. Then you got on November 8th is two of your fighters.
Hey,
You know, so you got like what is it, Joshua Edwards and David Stevens on November 8th. Hold on a sec. See if you're able to hear. Hold on a minute.
I don't know why it's
See
doing that. Tell him.
Hold on, mic check.
hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You able to hear me?
It's like double one.
It's doing double. It's double playing.
All right. Let me see if I could try something here. I'm gonna try to switch something. See if that could work. How about this?
I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine, but now it's on a delay.
Ah, yeah. I'm trying to see here if we could just try to just rock with it here on this point here. So we're gonna try to do this as much as we can here. So what we'll do is coach, if you
It's a
can.
delay.
Say what you said a while back.
Oh, still got a delay. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can run this then. This is we got a few things here that we'll try to do here on it. So, coach, if you can, could you give the people your schedule coming up for November? Still able to hear me, coach?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
But it still got a delay because it's playing back what I said earlier.
Oh, okay. Not sure like why it's doing that playback. Hold on, let me see if there's something here on the other end that I could work with or something like that. But
You want me to get out and get back in?
Yeah, yeah. We'll try to see if you can do that. See if you
Okay.
can try that. All
Oh
right.
no.
So we're gonna work on a few things here to get Coach Ronnie back on. See if we could have thing here be properly synchronized and things like that here for the show. Once he's able to drop off and then come back on here in just a bit. But we got a number of things here we're gonna try on this end here.
Hey, come on.
So was just bear with us here for just a minute here as we try to get Coach back on and synchronize here with us. So, but yeah, we have a number of things here that we're gonna try on this front here on this end to see if it could work here for Coach Ronnie on his end and things like that. So just bear with us here for 1 second as we get Coach here back on. Hold on just a minute here. So, just for those that's been able to listen in and things like that, big ups for everyone that's able to listen live. But once we get everything going, then we'll be able to get him back on here. So we got like a number of things that's going to be on the schedule here for Coach Ronnie Shields for the month of November. So it's going to be a number of fights, that he's going to be involved with his fighters here back to back. So we're going to be talking about that, as we have, our your regular slate here. We're going to do a thing here for Q&A, and we're going to have a thing here for our factor fiction. So we got that thing here that's geared up for us on this edition of Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields. And thing is, what we're going to do here for this week is we're going to do a thing for a factor fiction. But scheduled for next week, we're going to have like a special show for October 28th there. You know what I mean? Shout out to our guy there, Just Do Boxing in the building here, saying shout out to Coach Ronnie Shields here. So, definitely big ups to you, Just Do Boxing. If y'all can, y'all check out Just Do Boxing there on YouTube here, while we work on getting Coach Ronnie Shields back here with us, everything like that. We got a number of topics that we're going to be talking about here in this particular show. Get the coaches' reactions to a few of the topics that we do have here coming up. So we're gonna see if we could get that situated here in just a minute. So once we get that, as we try to get Coach Ronnie here back and connected. Coach, you able to hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, all right. So we
Can
should
you
be
see me?
good and straight now. All right.
Yeah, can you see me?
Yes, yes. You can see you here, Coach. All right. So we're ready to roll, ready to rock, and everything like that. As I was saying before, you have a very busy schedule coming up for November. So you
Yes.
can just run through that schedule here for us real quick.
Okay. I got a new kid that I've been training from Michigan named Justin Lacey Pierce. He's November the 1st in Detroit. Then on November the 7th, of course, we got my heavyweight, Otto Wallin. He's going to be in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And then on November the 8th, the very next day, my heavyweight, Joshua Edwards. And then David Stevens on November the 8th in Dallas, Fort Worth area. And then on November 22nd, we have Vito Manicki fighting in Saudi Arabia. And then on November the 29th, in Fresno, California, will be Justin Pardo.
Man, so we got like at least one fight almost every single week, and then a back to back on November 7th and November 8th, man. So
Yeah.
you have a really, really full camp here, over these next few weeks, trying to wind down with the number of those fighters. Like you say, you got, one fighter there that you're starting off with that's going to be fighting on November 1st there. So kind of, give us a brief of that fighter that you have here.
Yes, he's a kid. He's 12 and 0. Like I say, he's a 54 pounder, so a junior middleweight. And he's a young kid, but you know, he's gonna be something that I'm really looking forward to working with. And this kid, he tries everything I ask him to try. He's a really good worker,
Mhm.
and I'm looking forward to his fight.
Yeah, gotcha there. I mean, like you said, to start out there, 12-0 and things like that, and as you said, just being able to see what he can do and what you're able to implement there for him, so that you'll be able to see like how you could build him up there in the 154-pound division here coming up. So I'm not sure like where, or if like what I would say, like a promotional company he might be with, or if he's like
Um,
just
but
free
it's,
agent kind of.
yeah, it's not a big promotional thing.
Gotcha.
It's not a television fight.
Yeah. Word.
So, we just, he's trying to build.
Yeah,
So, so it's one of those.
yeah. But I'm with it. I'm with it. Like not every fight got to be on television, y'all. Not every fight got to be on television. You got to be able to like
Start
properly put
somewhere.
these fighters. You know what I mean? So so then you got that, and then the back to back, man, Atlantic City, and then the Fort Worth, Texas, man.
Yeah.
Ooh. That now that's gonna be something, because I don't know I haven't been to Atlantic City Airport, so I don't know how that's
Well,
gonna
no, actually, we fly into Philly and drive from Philadelphia to Atlantic
to
City.
Atlantic City. Okay, okay. So
But
yeah,
I have flown into Atlantic City before. They got a real small airport, but
yeah,
but the planes they're tiny, so definitely don't want to do that.
yeah. Yeah, that reminds me of like back in the 80s when I would fly from, I guess, Miami to Key West or something like that in them little planes. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
no, it's not
oh,
good. Like like a little bit of wind will probably have you like swinging and swaying over on those things. Nah, I couldn't get with that. And as we we're talking about with Joshua Edwards there, and Chris and David Stevens there, man. Joshua Edwards, of course, being as busy as possible here in 2025, and David Stevens lined up for a big fight there coming up.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so that I'm telling you, that back to back, of course, you're gonna need that week off or something like that, because that is crazy. I don't know. Have you had like a few back to backs, and how was it to kind of like handle those?
You know what, man? It's a lot of travel involved, but it's no rest for the weary.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And I mean, at least you'll be able to get some rest on the plane getting out there to,
Yeah,
Texas for sure. For sure. And of course, we have our thing there with Vito Milnicki Jr. You talked about that a couple of weeks ago, there for November 22nd. He just, posted the flyer there for that particular fight coming up November 22nd
yeah,
there. So so you actually, I wouldn't necessarily count the 15th as a week off, because you would have to fly out there over to Saudi Arabia. I'm like, man, those trips is crazy, absolutely crazy. You
it
know,
is, man. I've flown it before, so just got to do it again. When duty calls, you got to go.
Yep, that's it. That's it. And as I said, with that fight happening there, on the card, okay, it'd be pretty early in the card. Take care of business, and then just get right on the plane back, because you got another fight here with Justin Paulo for November 29th there. So it's a very, very busy schedule here for the month of November for Coach Ronnie Shields. And one other thing here, you had like any updates on maybe Andreas Casarakis, if there's something lined up for him soon?
Well, they talking about him fighting for the interim. I think it's a WBA interim title, but they still don't have a date. So we're just waiting on his manager and promoters to figure out, what they're going to do. They're still looking at opponents, but like I said, they still don't have a date yet.
Gotcha, gotcha. So we'll see if we could line something up there for Andreas Katsarakis. Of course, he's done his thing on OTX boxing and things like that, and had a great performance in his last fight. So we're gonna see if we could line him up to get himself in a pretty good fight there in the 154-pound division. Real quick before we get into this thing here with a quick Q&A. Got a question here from a guy here, Just Do Boxing. He asks, Coach, how do you decide which fighters to train? Is there anything specific you look for in a fighter before you train them?
Yeah, absolutely. First, character is the number one thing, and the number two thing is I look to see if how hard a guy works, you know, and if he can get along with everybody in the gym. It's a lot of different factors, I've had guys that come in and thought they could just run the gym,
Mm,
and it don't work that way.
right.
Not Ronnie Shields boxing anyway. You know, we all work together. We help each other. We do,
Hmm.
do what's best for everybody. It's not about one person. It's about the whole gym. And we, we work hard. If somebody's lazy, they got to go. Can't have that.
Yeah. Can't really go in there with an attitude, and you can't
No,
be lazy. That's
absolutely,
the top two things that'll be like, nah, you're out of here. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So there you go. But that is how you have Coach Ronnie working with a number of the fighters that he's been able to work with over the course of his training career. And we all know about how he was doing this thing as a fighter himself there. So that kind of like gives you a little bit of a background there for Coach Ronnie Shields. But we got to get into the mix here as we got a few things that we're going to be talking about. So let me cue up my guy here, Brother Morgan. Let's do it.
Either get busy living or get busy dying, or get busy playing rapid fire Q&A with Coach Ronnie Shields.
All right, Coach. Now this one here is gonna kind of like have a little bit of a theme here, so you're gonna kind of see this here, and then I'll like add in a couple things here to mix up things. So, all right, I'm gonna get it started here with this one. All right, let's check this out. All right, better point guard, Steve Nash or Jason Kidd?
Oh wow, that's a good one. But I'm gonna have to go with Jason Kidd.
Yeah, yeah. J Kidd, of course, coming from Cal in college, and then being able to do his thing here with New Jersey
Yeah.
and Dallas, among other teams too. So yeah, definitely gotta go with Jason Kidd there. All right, here's the next one. Better fadeaway jumper, Dirk Nowitzki or Kevin Durant?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna have to go with a tie on this one.
Man, yeah. They'll talk about one of the most unstoppable moves out there.
Yeah,
Depending on who it is, whether it was Dirk or KD. Listen,
absolutely.
both of them over like 7 feet. So it's like they get that move and they just jump up and oh man, like no one
Yeah.
could really like block those shots there for those. All right, here goes another one. Better shooting guard, Reggie Miller or Joe Dumars?
I'm gonna have to go with my boy Reggie, man. Reggie Miller. I like Reggie. Yeah, Reggie was great, man. He was really good. He was really good, and he knew how to finesse everything. So I have to say Reggie.
Yeah, I mean he was like I would say he was to a certain level Steph Curry before Steph Curry as far as like
Yeah,
how he was able to maneuver around the half court and be able to get open. So he kind of like revolutionized that particular thing. And of course, everyone knows about his classics there with the New York Knicks and stuff like that. But Joe Dumars was definitely as they say, a bad boy there with the Detroit Pistons. So
he was absolutely.
all right. Now this one here. All right, let's see if we can try this. All right. Better music catalog. Tony Braxton or Mary J. Blige?
Ooh, man, I'm gonna have to go with Mary J on this one.
Hmm.
I know
Yes.
Tony was good, but
Yeah.
Mary J was. I think I listened more to Mary J than I did Tony.
Gotcha. Yeah. But of course, both of them had like definitive classics there. But
Yeah,
a lot of people kind of like gravitate towards Mary J. a little bit more than Tony Braxton on
yeah.
that front. For sure. For sure. All right. Here we go with this next one. Better 1970s center, Bob Lanier or Bob McAdoo?
Gotta go with my boy McAdoo. I think everybody. I mean, Bob Lanier was really good, but McAdoo, man, he was the man with the plan.
Oh man, I mean, like I said, both of them were very, very good in the '70s. Of course, a lot of people, recall like the thing there with like Will and Moses Malone and
Yeah,
Kareem and everything like that. But these guys definitely did their thing in the '70s for sure, for sure. All right, here we go with this next one here. Better team, the Sixers in 1983 or the Lakers in 1987?
the Lakers, man. Gotta go with the Lakers.
You can't. You're not gonna go with 4-4-4.
No, no, no. But they was great, man. But still, the Lakers, man.
Oh man, Showtime Lakers, man.
Yeah,
Magic, Kareem,
yeah,
Scott, Michael
yeah,
Cooper, James
man.
Worthy. Oh man,
All Hall of Famers, man.
all the famous. Yep, for sure, man. Hey, that was my team too. Pat Riley's coaching them and
Yeah.
everything like that. So that was definitely a great squad right there. All right, here we go. Man, I did. Let me see here if I could run this here. All right, let's see if we could go with this one as the next Q&A. All right, better 2000s power forward, Chris Bosh or Rasheed Wallace?
Chris Bosh.
Hmm.
Yeah, I gotta go with Bosh.
I mean, she did his thing in but
Yeah,
that was like in North Carolina and
yeah,
Detroit, but then he had like a basically a role there, of course, with the Pistons,
yeah.
and it was more of like he kind of more played that role instead of being who he was in North Carolina. While Chris Bosh, going from Georgia Tech to at least Toronto before hitting Miami, he was like the guy in Toronto.
Oh yeah,
Multiple All Stars
sure.
and all NBA team. So definitely got to go with Chris Bosh right on that front. All right, cool. All right, here we go with this last one here for Q&A. All right, let's do this. All right, Stephanie Mills or Patti LaBelle?
Ooh, I'm gonna say a tie on this one, man. Because I love both of their music.
Yeah.
They both, I've seen both in concert before, and they do a great job, man. Hell of a job. And so it's hard to pick one over the other on this one.
Oh, that's tough. Hey, I probably got you. What I said, that's at least two times right there with this Q&A. So at least I got
Hey,
pretty much heck some good ones
as
here.
long as they don't go up against Sade,
Sade is undefeated.
no doubt.
Oh man, so yeah, that was something there for our Q&A session and things like that, man. Like I said, and my guy Just Dubash follows up here and says, "Appreciate that, Coach. Just want to tell you that follow your work and you're definitely a Hall of Fame trainer. Just want to give your just due. Man, I wish I had his clip there, with Adrian Broder talking about. But now it's time to get your just due, But hey, he's just giving your props there, on that front,
Appreciate that,
man.
man.
So hey, that was something there for the Q&A. So we're gonna, as we said, we're gonna be continuing to rock and roll here on this front here. So let me see if I could get this next thing queued up because of course we know that this guy, man, we got to pay him a little bit extra just to do a little drop. So here we go with it.
Hey, this show needed the cash cow back to introduce fact or fiction.
All right, there. Thanks a lot, Floyd, even though it costs a lot of money to get that drop in. All right. So you ready to get started, Coach?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Number one, Alexander Usyk might as well be the Rock because to him, it doesn't matter who wins between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley as he won't fight either of them in 2026. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it could be a fact because I don't know who he's going to fight, Tater Drew, because I know that he said he was injured, but then they showed video of him doing other things, and
The
I think
polka, the two-step,
yeah,
the Vogue.
yeah. Then he got in trouble doing that, and then, but I don't know. Do you have any mandatories coming up?
I mean, he has a thing there where they arranged the thing with Parker, right? And then the thing with the WBC is supposed to be I get Cabello, right?
Yeah,
The WBA, I don't even want to mention the WBA because they have like 4 or 5 different world champions, and one of them is was it Kubrat Pulev or something like
yeah,
that. So
yeah. Call back pull out.
and I think he has a fight coming up himself. So it's yeah. But if you think about all of those potential fights out there for Usyk as far as like mandatories, and You think do people really think that he would be interested in fighting any of those guys that I mentioned in comparison to maybe a Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, or even what I said the other day, Deontay Wilder? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Usyk got to fight somebody. He's been off
Yeah,
a while now, you
yeah,
know. So he gotta do something, man. He gotta, he's a world champion, man. People got those belts, man. They don't want to defend them. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. And that's sometimes that's the thing there with being undisputed, because you would have to have like all of these mandatories back to back to back. And the thing is with Usyk, even though he said that he'll fight until he's 41 and he's 38 now, like he's only had like one fight this year, and you really kind of see someone like Usyk have more than one fight a year, given that it would cost like as much money as it could cost to have him fight in the first place. And then the other thing is like being able to find a good spot for him to fight. Because I mean, of course, he can't be fighting in the Ukraine, so they got to find other places for him to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's no doubt. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I
I
mean,
don't, I don't think he has a promoter now, does it? Because I think his things deal ran out with his promoter. So
with what was it, Alex Krasnick or I forgot the other guy that he was with there. Yeah, I gotta check on that. I gotta check on that for sure there. But yeah, he might as well just say, hey, you know what? I'll decline on paying money to the WBO to defend the title against the winner there. I don't know. Maybe he should be in there as the guest referee for for Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley, and he'll be in there, and someone will get knocked down, and it'll be like 1, 2. It doesn't matter if Usyk counts to 10.
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how that develops there with Usyk, but I just am kind of reluctant to see if he's going to fight the winner of these two, with their fight coming up here there real quick. What are your thoughts of that particular fight? Parker versus Wardley, because it was Parker as a former full champion there, and then Fabio Wardley, coming up there, I think with under 20 professional fights, but
right.
has had some big knockouts here recently.
Yeah, he can punch, but I don't see him beating Parker though. I think Parker a little bit too experienced and a little
Mm.
too strong for him.
That's the thing about it. I think the experience of Joseph Parker will be a little bit too much there for Fabio Wardley coming up on Saturday, and I can't really name anybody else that's on the card because I can't even recognize my
I
wrestling.
know.
Oh goodness! All right, here we go. Number two. It was good that Danny Garcia got a knockout against Daniel Gonzalez last Saturday, but he should think twice about continuing the fight and just hang up the gloves. Fact or fiction?
Oh, that's a fact, man. Look, let me tell you something. When I saw this dude, right, that he was fighting, I mean, Daniel was like 2 times big as this dude, you know? And I'm looking at this like, oh, hold up, man, come on. Are they serious? And then, he act like he won a world championship after he knocked this dude out. And then he said now he don't know if he go retire.
Yeah,
You can't judge that off of who you just fought, man. Come on. You know better than that, Danny. I thought you
yeah.
was bigger than that, man. Golly. I mean, come on, man. That was a gimme if I ever seen a gimme.
Oh man, yeah. I was there, man. That was an absolute marathon. I couldn't believe it. You would have a fight card that has 14 total fights on the card, right? And
How was the crowd there?
oh no, it was sparse. It was sparse.
Yeah.
Okay, just
But
just be real.
did they open up the whole thing or did they cut it in
No,
half?
he didn't. They didn't. No, the
Yeah.
top part of the Barclays was curtained off, but no, it
Yeah.
was it was sparse. Um, with 14 fights, and it could have been 15. And how many stoppages? I would say I don't even remember, but three. The Neva
Wow.
fight, Cologne, Keith Cologne, and then probably like one other one that I had. Hold on, let me see. I got the yeah, it's like three of them. So it's like out of all of these fights in there, so you had like 10 rounders, 8 rounders,
What?
6 rounders.
Man, y'all been there for a while then.
Listen,
They start early?
the first bout was at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Wow.
The card itself didn't end until after, well, I'd say about 12:50 a.m. How about that?
Wow. Was Danny the last fight?
Yes, yes,
Oh my
yes.
God, that's crazy.
So you had all of those fights that were out there, and a number of them went the distance. It was absolutely insane, man. It was
That's
absolutely insane.
crazy.
Oh man, but yeah, even though Danny did say like he's quote unquote 85% retired like that, yeah, I
No,
might
he
as
should
well
be
just
100% retired.
yeah, right. Like I mean, he can focus on the thing there with the promotion, have more fights there within the Philadelphia area and things like that. And
Yeah,
he had like a lot of things set up outside of boxing too that was going well. So I would kind of just go off the momentum of that and you'll see how that goes for him. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I couldn't believe it. Like 4:30 to like 1 a.m. It was absolutely
That's
ridiculous.
crazy, man.
I don't think they'll ever have a 14 fight card like that ever
Hey,
again.
that sounds like Saudi Arabia there.
Yeah, it pretty much was either that or what it was when they had the Crawford versus Madrimov in Los Angeles. I think that was around like about 12 or so fights or whatever it was.
There was a lot of fights on that
Yeah,
card.
yeah. So that
No
was
doubt.
yeah, that was an absolute marathon. All right, here we go with the next one. All right. Gerard Boots Ennis will be pushed to fight Virgil Ortiz next if Ortiz beats Lubin, but he will face Abbas Barao next. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Mm.
I think he's going to fight Virgil Ortiz because they really, I've been seeing so much about Boots talking about that fight, and Virgil mentioned it, but he wants to beat Lubin first, and he don't want to jump the gun, which is a good thing. You got to concentrate on one thing at a time, one person at a time rather, and he shouldn't underestimate Lubin because
Now
Lubin don't have
that's
to
a
be
fact.
in the wall, but Lubin can really fight.
Oh yeah.
And he can give you problems if his defense is on point. So yeah, and don't look like Virgil is looking past Lubin. So he's just telling him, "Hey man, y'all wait till after this fight, then we'll see what happening." But I think that'd be a great fight though. If Ortiz gets by Lubin and then he fights Boots, that I think that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, I think it would be the most anticipated fight there in the 154-pound division. And to me, sometimes you don't necessarily have to have like all of these titles involved and
No,
whatever, or have it be for undisputed or anything like that. As long as the fighters have the big enough following, if you put them together there for a fight, then the people will support. No matter what. So I would say that if they do try to, have it set up, then yeah, I would, kind of like make it happen. I don't know if it's something to the point where maybe they have like an agreement to the sort of, how they did, what it was, the Canelo Golovkin, the first fight, right? And then Golovkin had fought Daniel Jacobs,
yeah,
and he got the decision win. And then after that, they had the whole thing with the face off or whatever. So maybe they could set up something like that if Virgil Ortiz wins. But it's something to like. I would, but to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they just say, you know what, let's get Boots Ennis that world title there against Abbas Barao, be like a two-division world champion. Then we could see about having a fight with Virgil Ortiz. So,
yeah.
we'll see how that goes. You know what I mean. Shout out to my guy, our brother Ron Goodall in the building there here checking in. That's my guy there fight hype and everything like that. So we just moving along, cooking and everything like that. We got this next one here, number 4 in fact or fiction. All right. Making the David Benavidez Anthony Yard event a pay per view instead of free shows that Turkey still doesn't understand the business of boxing. Fact or fiction?
Well, that's a fact. You know, the problem is not many people know Yard. You know, and I mean he's known in Europe by a lot of people, but in the States he's not. You know, a lot of people don't know him here, so that could be a problem for the pay per view. You know, but the good thing is the undercard is really good.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you got, Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. You got
Yes,
Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. You got Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. And you got Artur Beterbiev going up against Dion Nicholson. So it's a good, 5-fight card there. And of course, you're going to have Vito Milnicki Jr. in action. So y'all be on the lookout for that because Vito is going to be listed on there in the card. As I mentioned earlier, he posted the thing there here going up against MoMA there at the A&B Arena there for Night of the Champions. So you're going to be seeing Coach Ronnie out there in Riyadh as well there for
that's for
that
sure.
fight card. So we're building up more fights that will be added to the card there. But yeah, having it, be a pay-per-view after saying, no, 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 no. We going to have this free. We don't need to have all of these fights and people have to pay to see these fights. No, we're gonna have it free. Well, the network execs and all that type of stuff said, I don't know, maybe you didn't give them enough money for the fight card to be free. Because hey, if you're spending money for the fighters, that doesn't necessarily mean that the networks will get that money or be able to properly recoup that money. So yeah, they said, hey, we still gotta get this thing here for pay per view. But what is it? It's about like 2 years in there for Turkey LLC. And well, he's still going through those growing pains and everything like that, man. Uh,
That's gonna happen.
yep, yep. Yeah, big ups to our brother Ron here. Showing us some love there. Y'all hit the like button, hit the share button here to let the people know about the legendary Coach Ronnie Shields and our weekly show here on the Boxing Source channel. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can go on with this next one here. All right, moving the Oshaki Foster Stephen Fulton bout to December 8th is a great way to boost the card headlined by Cruz versus Roach, as those two names aren't enough to generate interest from the fans. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I think not many people know Oshaki Foster, but he's the champion, but not many people know him. But fortunately, people have seen him in and out for the last few years, so they got to know that Oshaki Foster is a really good champion to be going up against a guy like Stephen Fulton. So, and that's going to be a great fight, you know. And Oshaki is from Orange, Texas, and of course, I'm rooting for Oshaki, for home state, So I got to root for Oshaki, and he's a really good fighter, and he's world champion for a reason because he can fight. So, but I think that's great that they moved that fight and put it on that card because that card could have used, you know, a good, you know, a good support system.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got the thing there with Isaac Cruz versus Lamont Rose Jr. for the interim WBC title there at 140 pounds, and then you
Then
also,
they move Erislan De Lowry
yep,
on the card too, right?
yep,
Yeah.
you got
They
that.
want to put that
Lara
fight.
versus Janabek. That'll be the
Yeah.
unification there for middleweight.
Yep.
So you add this on the card there, you're gonna have those two world title fights and the interim title fight. Makes for a great card overall. And I got to see if they're gonna move a couple more of those fights that were scheduled for October 25th to be on this thing here for December 8th. That includes Frank Martin there against Francis Barthélemy and like a few other fights that were They're on October 25th, but then also they had a few more that were scheduled to be for December 8th itself. So I think that's going to be a really stacked card if they are able to play the cards right. That
Absolutely.
month, you know,
Yes.
and I think that to me that should be more of the cards that they should do there, you know, under TGB promotions slash Heyman Boxing and everything like that,
Right.
because it'll be like, yeah, that's not that's not a bad card to have a lot of these key fighters there, and you talk about the thing here with Foster versus Fulton. There, Foster, continues to be overlooked. We said it there in the initial press conference and the conference calls and interviews and stuff like that because Stephen Fulton, yeah, he's been very established when it comes to like 122 pounds, and he's
Right.
had only a couple of fights at 126. Now
Right.
he's trying to go for his belt at 130. So we
Yeah.
got to see how we fares here against someone that's been established at the 130-pound division. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. That's a
Yeah.
be a good
So
fight.
yeah, definitely looking forward to that, and I'm definitely looking forward to Lara versus Janabek. That's going to be something there, particularly to see how Janabek deals with Arislandi Lara's mix of good defense now implementing some offense there on that as well. So we got to see how that goes. Word. All right. So we moving on right along here, moving quickly. All right, here we go with this next one, number 6. All right. Nigel Benn should forget about his son fighting Mario Barrios after the rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. because there is no way that Conor Benn is making 147 pounds ever again. Fact or fiction?
I think that's a fact.
Man,
He haven't made 147 in a long time.
a
So,
long time.
yeah, so it's gonna be crazy for him to try to get down. Now I've seen guys do it, but no strength, no power, no nothing, no
Nothing.
Schumacher. You know, so I don't know if it's worth it. Although it's for the world title, I don't think it's worth it. But this
Hmm.
is why he's doing a catch weight. You
Yeah.
know, this is the reason he's doing a catch weight because they can't make that weight. You
Hmm.
know, and the older you get, the harder it gets.
Much harder. You
No
know.
matter how long you train for it. I mean, you could train a year for it; it don't make a difference. You know, it's still gonna be tough for him to get down to 147 pounds. So he might as well forget that. Don't get himself killed or die because of you're trying to make that weight. It's
Yeah.
not worth it. It's
Yeah.
not worth your life.
Definitely not. Definitely not. And you had the his first fight there against Chris Eubank Jr. and he was around 156 or so pounds in the weigh-in. So who knows what he was able to rehydrate to
Oh
for
my
that particular
God.
bout. You know.
Yeah, he was at least 180.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, what it was. I seen him out there in New York when you had the thing there with David Morrell's last fight there in New York City. So he
Right.
he was there. But yeah, he kind of like walks around that 175 to 180
Oh
range.
yeah, no doubt.
And the last time that he, had something where he weighed in under 147 pounds was in 2022. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I doubt that he would, go ahead and try to get back down to 147 pounds. And for me, I'm like, why not go ahead and try 154? There's a number of fighters
Yeah.
out there at 154.
So there's a lot of fights there.
Yeah,
But it's just crazy.
yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
yeah, I just don't see what the point would be of trying to get down to 147 pounds. If you're just doing it for maybe that fight and then maybe one other fight, or when you could have a lot of possibilities at 154 pounds or 160, if he wanted
You
to.
know, the thing you have to realize is if he's fighting for the world title and he wins it, now you're champion at 147.
Yep.
So do you just give it up if you win the world title? Or do you say, no, I'm going to stay here and continue to fight at 147?
Mhm.
There's no way. There's no way he can do it.
Yeah.
His body won't let him do it.
Yeah, you got to have like that long term plan to say, okay, if I'm gonna fight compete at 147, then that would mean I would have to be around that weight there for at least a year. Especially if you're gonna be fighting for a world title. But for me, I don't think that Mario Barrios is gonna end up fighting Conor Ben anyway. Y'all check out the BisonSource.net there for the rumor mill on that front. All right. So I'm gonna see here. We're actually moving very quick here. Got like one more here for Fact or Fiction here. So let's run it. All right, here we go. Brian Norman Sr. is a little too confident when it comes to his son facing Devin Haney, and will have to focus in these next few weeks to be ready for anything Haney has up his sleeve. Fact or fiction?
I think fiction. You know what? He's very confident that his son can win this fight. You know, his son is a world champion, and his son is really good. I mean, Brian Norman Jr. is really good, and I would feel that confident too going into a fight like this with a guy like Devin Haney. Look, Devin Haney can fight. He's a really good boxer. He, but he moves away too much. He runs too much, and if he does that in this fight, he's never going to win a world championship with doing the running that he did in his last fight. So, you know, um, when you're fighting a world champion, you have to take the title from the champion. You can't hit and run and think you're going to that's going to do it. It's not. It's a big difference. So, but with Brian Norman Jr., this kid can fight. He's really good, and I expect him to win, and I expect him to defend his title.
Now, the thing with Devin Haney, given his past few fights, when he had his last, I would say, two fights with the rematch against Kambosos and the fight against Lomachenko, he
Yeah,
was, really, struggling to make that 135. As we were talking about Carter Ben here earlier.
yeah.
So, with him having that fight at 135 then having it sit there against Regis Prograis at 140. Now he's already above 140. Does that mean that he might be more closer to the weight that he should be at, being competing around 147?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Look. Your body have growth spurts. Despite your age, your body still have growth spurts, and and I think he's been having one. And look, you can't deny it. You know, you can't fight with your body and try to kill your body. You kill your body is not going to respond to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna quit on you. So he's really forced to go up because his body is not letting him stay down at the lower weights. It just don't make sense. And you have to listen to your body.
Yeah.
When your body tell you, hey, it's time to go up, you better listen because your body will fail you every time.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I think that he kind of like knew that actually with his fight against Regis Prograis, because even
Yeah,
with that, he almost was ballooned up to maybe close to like 160 or something there against Regis Prograis. So
yeah.
that's why, like, the next fight he had, it was north of 140 pounds there against Jose Carlos Ramirez. So he's getting a little bit acclimated to that weight there around 147. But Brian Norman Jr. has pretty much been getting better every single fight. So
Yes, indeed.
definitely going to be ready for this. And, I'm looking forward to that. That's definitely going to be the best fight of the night there for November 22nd. So definitely looking forward to it there. So, hey, I mean, I said that, we could go through for an hour, and here we are. This under 50 minutes. So we did this here pretty quickly here, Coach Roddy.
Yeah.
As I said, we're looking forward to next week. We got something special scheduled for next week, as we talked about the great coach Emmanuel Stewart there. So we're gonna have a special show there dedicated to Emmanuel Stewart scheduled for next week. And as we said there with Coach Ronnie Shields, a very very busy November. So he got this one weekend that he can pretty much chill out And then we got week after week after week. I don't know. We might have a couple of weeks here where we might have to take a week off just so Coach Ronnie could get some rest in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So many fights out there, man. But as it is, that is, our show here, of course, with Real Boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields. Big thanks for everyone that's been able to listen live. Be sure to share this video here so people could hear from the great legendary Coach Ronnie Shields. And here we go with the party shots from the coach. What do you got for us?
As always, you can follow me on Instagram at official Ronnie Shields.
And that is all from us. Of course, I am J.R. Bell for the Boxing Source. And that is Coach Ronnie Shields. Have a great evening, everybody.
The Boxing Source proudly presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.